Who is your best friend? Many say their pet, but few can boast of friendship with exotic animals or tell a moving story about salvation. Hello there, and today we will talk about the most incredible cases of friendship between people and wild animals. One little girl periodically receives various trinkets as a gift, but not from her parents or friends, but from ravens living in her garden. A small Seattle resident, Gabby Mann, feeds the ravens who visit her house, and in return, they bring her souvenirs. The girl has already gathered a collection of more than 100 beads on a string, buttons, glands, plastic parts, and construction foam. Her feathered friends gave her all this. Her strange relationships with birds began in 2011, when 4-year-old Gabby accidentally dropped food. Ravens flocked into her house and began to fight over the piece left by her. When the girl went to school, she began to feed the birds with her lunch. Since then, ravens gather every day near Gabby's house and wait for her to come home from school. The girl stores all souvenirs from the birds in neatly labeled containers. Once a trucker from Siberia saw a downed owl on the highway. At first, he wanted to drive past, but humanity forced him to pull to the side of the road. The truck driver took the wounded owl to the nearest veterinary clinic. It turned out that there was a huge hematoma on the head of the bird. Veterinarians gave the owl first aid and gave it back. Over time, the owl recovered and refused to leave her new friend. At the zoo, they refused to accept the owl, while saying that such a close relationship between the owl and the driver is really unique. Now, at every stop, the man hurries to the store for fresh meat. He stores the food in the refrigerator, which he had to buy in order to save food for the pet. The owl sits on his steering wheel and awaits his return. The man tries not to take a long time unloading so that she does not worry. He says that she is very touchy and still insanely smart. By the way, this same man saved another swamp owlet and hedgehog who traveled around the country with him for some time. And in 2015, when the driver worked in the north, work colleagues found a wounded polar owlet. At first, they did not know what to do with him, and then they remembered that they were working together with the overlord of owls. The man immediately responded and began to care for the owlet, whom he called Snowball. Then he took him to the city and handed it to the ornithologist in the Park of Flora and Fauna. The park said that this man saved the life of this owlet, since a wounded bird could not survive in the wild. In 2014, a documentary was released about the English conservationist Damien Aspinall, who was reunited with the gorilla he raised. His organization looks after gorillas and other animals and then returns them to their natural habitat. Once, Damon decided to visit Koibi, one of the gorillas that he released 5 years ago. Koibi was born in a zoo in England and was released into the protected jungle of Gabon. Since then, the male gorilla managed to create his own family. Most of all, Aspinall was afraid that Koibi would not recognize him, but his fears were in vain. The trained alligator Rambo, who understands the language of signs and knows how to ride a quad bike, is now forced to say goodbye to his mistress. He grew to 6 feet 6 inches and can no longer live in her house. Mary Thorne sheltered Rambo 13 years ago. In March 2016, she said that in order to continue to contain a huge reptile, she needed to increase the area by at least 2.5 acres. Otherwise, the animal would have to be sent to the reserve. Thorne says Rambo watches TV while laying on the dogs and claims that the alligator is so cute that he is adored by children, who carry it with them everywhere and take pictures. Mary believes that if Rambo begins to live the life of a normal alligator, then he will die in a few weeks. She speaks of the connection with her pet like this: "He is like a son to me. He is my family." Many children go to the park to watch the ducks, but 5-year-old Kylie Brown does the opposite. She goes for a walk with her duck, Snowflake, to enjoy the park. The duck swims in the pond and then returns at the first call of Kylie. Snowflake considers the girl to be her mom, and she is not the only one who thinks so. For some unknown reason, the duckling quickly got used to Kylie and began to follow her everywhere. In the summer, he goes with her to the beach, and in the winter, rides down a hill. The duckling goes with Kylie to football games, overnight parties, and even begging for Halloween sweets. "I'm his mom," says Kylie. When she is told that Snowflake is not really her child, she strongly disagrees. In the spring of 2000, Tony and Shirley Yobert from South Africa found a newborn hippo on the banks of the Limpopo River. This happened after a severe flood. The hippo was crippled, hungry, and would not have survived without human intervention. The Yobert family, which did not have children at the time, took care of the animal with special love. As time passed, the hippo Jessica became a full member of the family. For a long time, she slept in the house and ate with others in the kitchen. But soon, Jessica grew and accidentally began to destroy furniture, after which Tony and Shirley decided to arrange a cozy corner for the animal on the street. The hippopotamus often goes swimming in Limpopo, but always returns because a loving family is waiting for her at home. Most children are afraid that they can be bitten by a snake, but one 11-year-old girl in India is fearless about reptiles and considers them her best friends. Kajol Khan of Uttar Pradesh, India, still eats and sleeps with the deadly animals, even though she has already survived several potential deadly poisonous bites of these snakes. She says, "I get a lot of pleasure when I'm with the cobras. It hurts enough when they bite me, but sometimes it's my fault because I tease, and it's pretty funny." Kajol's father, who is now over 50, still works as a snake catcher. Over the past 45 years, he has already transferred his skills to his eldest son, and apparently the youngest Kajol seeks to join the family business. In an interview, the girl told of her dreams. "I don't really like school. I like to play with snakes most of all." The story of this unusual friendship of a man and tiger began 6 years ago in the Indonesia province of East Java, in the city of Malang. The owner of a 3-month-old tiger cub asked Abdullah Sholeh to look after it. Since then, they have become inseparable. Today, Abdullah Sholeh is 35 years old, and the Bengal tigress Mulan is 8 years old and weighs almost 400 pounds. Mulan is large. The average weight for a female Bengal tiger is 300 pounds, and it is believed it can reach a maximum of 400. The striped girlfriend, 10 feet long, with a tail and height of more than 3 feet, eats twice a day and eats about 13 pounds of chicken and goat meat. According to Abdullah Sholeh, he sometimes sleeps not at home in his bed, but in the aviary next to the big cat. True, for safety reasons, iron rods were installed here. As Abdullah says, she is not at all aggressive and is a true friend to me. We often play with her. From communication with the tiger, Abdullah has several small scratches, which the tigress accidentally touched him with her paw. The story of this unusual friendship of man and tiger has become very popular on the internet. Let's hope that these two real friends always have a complete understanding, because in fact, you never know what a powerful predator has in mind. And finally, one extremely informative story on the topic of friendship. This woman wished to remain anonymous. She loved her snake very much and carried it with her literally everywhere. She said that they would sleep in the bed together. However, the woman soon noticed something was amiss. The python began to lose weight and at one point completely refused to eat. They had to go to the vet. Fortunately, the veterinarian was experienced, and when he found out that the woman constantly takes the python to bed, he made the only correct conclusion. The snake stopped eating to prepare for a big meal. Being so close, the python began to fantasize about the fact that it would be nice to enjoy such a tasty hostess. But since the human body is quite large, the reptile decided to make some room. This is the reason for such a serious starvation. That woman was lucky because if she didn't contact the vet in time, she could have become a pleasant snack for her scaly pet. It's hard to blame him, yet he succumbed to a serious temptation. What do you guys think about the friendship of man with wild animals? Is it dangerous? Write in the comments. And that's all for today. Put like if you like this video. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more.